Sarah was stricken with saras, you for kidnapping Binyamin will also be stricken with saras. Your destiny and your fate will be sealed just like Paro's was. That was the second pshat. Davar acher, third pshat. Third explanation in Rashi, ki kamoicha keparoi, that you are like Paroi. Bueller.
Neither of you keep your promises.
Neither of you keep your promises. Now, what did Paro say? He made all sorts of gezeres, he did not keep them. And what do you say, Yosef? That you just wanted to look at Binyamin. And now you want to take him as a slave? Paro, you're a liar. You're a liar. Third pshat, ki kamoicha keparoi. This is one of the most intense ones. I'm going to kill them both. Not only am I going to take you down, I'm going to take out your master. Yehuda was ready to mamish, bust up Mitzrayim. And the Medrash goes into this, of the things that were happening when he was making that threat, that the walls of the palace started shaking. And they were like throwing pillars at each other, like lifting up buildings, like it was getting leibedik.
We're not supposed to take those literally, are we?
Well, certain midrashim, no. Other midrashim, yes. I'm not uncomfortable with understanding that there were people with superhuman strength. This would be different for somebody to say that they could pick up a mother. Okay, maybe they were just, you see mothers pick up cars. Shimshon, you do have such a thing. Or it could be that it's a hyperbole, that he was doing superhuman, but still human-like feats of strength. And remember The Rock, where they pick guys up over his head. You guys never went to WWF stuff? Stone Cold. These guys are pretty strong, I'm saying. So whatever they were, Yehuda was stronger, and therefore the Medrash could be referring to them showing their might. Yeah, Asher.
Isn't it also said, I want to say 2 or sure ago, that when Yosef was telling on his brothers to his father about how they were eating the limb of a live animal, it wasn't actually an animal. It was one that they
created with Sefer Yetzirah.
Yeah.
That's one explanation, from the Shlach HaKadosh.
If they can do this, if they can do that.
According to that, then yes, they would have more Kabbalistic powers. So that's the fourth pshat. And we see the intrigue of the story is continuing. So says the Torah in our global Bible studies. Next verse. Adoni shal es avadav lemor hayesh lochem av oy ach. So, my master asked his servant, saying, is there to you a father or a brother? What is Yehuda saying right now to Yosef? He's chazering the story. That you asked us, have you a father or brother? Look at Rashi. Adoni shal es avadav. So this is exactly what Yehuda was saying into the ears of Yosef. Mitchila. When we first came to you, why did we first come to you, Yosef? Remember the storyline? For food. For food. There was a famine. We first came to you for food. So what? So ba'alila baso aleinu. You came to us and you started claiming all sorts of false claims upon us. You guys are spies. What are you doing here? You came to see Erva Sa'aretz. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'hakoil nibdvaroi.
Amen.
So you came to us in this false way. So lama hayalacha lishol kol eile. Meaning we just came asking for food. What did you do to us? You started asking all this family genealogy. You started to probe into our family line. You started to do a deep investigation. Now, why did you do that? Was it because Bitcha, your daughter, Hayinu Mevakshim, that you want that your daughter should marry one of us? Why is he going into the whole back and forth with the brothers? We just came looking for food. You know, like, who's your father? Who are your brothers? We're hungry. Do you have food? Where did he go to yeshiva? Who's his Rabbi? What kind of business do his brothers do? Those Persians. What's his portfolio? Show me all of his properties. What's with all this questioning? Is it because that you have a daughter that you want to marry one of us and you're doing some research into the family? Or maybe, maybe you're asking because you actually want to marry our sister, Yoseph? Is that why you're asking all these questions? Vafal P came, but nevertheless, meaning they're saying this back to Yosef, that wasn't your intention. And therefore, we went with your game and we answered you everything honestly. Yafal P came. Even though these were not questions that were needed, you did not need to know these things. You were not looking to make a shidduch with us. Noimer el Adoni. We said, Loi chichadenu mimcha. Davar, we did not hide anything from you. We've been absolutely upfront and honest with you, Yosef. You didn't know that's Yosef. My master. We've been 100% upfront and honest with you. V'noimer el Adoni, we said to you, Yesh lanu av zaken, that we have a father who's old, the yeled zakunim cotton, and we have a young yeled, a young boy, a young son. What's a yeled zakunim? What does zikunim mean? So what's a ben zikunim mean? Means the son of an old man. When a person has a son at an old age, the son is called the ben zikunim.
There's a lot of that going on in the world, huh?
Well, we do see that a miracle happened, that Rabbi Leader's Rebbe of Koshelovsky had a baby, his first son. I think he's 85 years old, and his wife is 56.
It was the second one.
And his wife's, it's a second wife, and his wife's name, I think, is Sarah, actually, who had a baby at 90. And Rabbi Leader is one of the prize students. And now imagine that, 85 years. He's one of the Gedolei Ador. He's one of the greatest rabbis of the generation. A great Rosh Shiva of Tzvi, and in Harnov. And Rabbi Leader walked across Yerushalayim for the Shalom Zacher. Friday night, Shalom Zacher. And Rabbi Leader felt like, he said this to the Rabbanim, so he said it publicly. He said, I had a feeling like I was going to get there, and the Roshi would see me, I would sit beside him, like, how many people are going to come at the end of the day? He said, there were so many people that came to the Shalom Zacher. It was such a simcha, hundreds and thousands. There were so many people that felt like this was a great miracle. Ben Zakunim Mamish. Imagine it. In your 80s. You're waiting over 80 years for a son. It's amazing. So that's a Ben Zakunim. So Binyamin was the Ben Zakunim. He was the Yeled Zakunim Cotton. And he said, we've told you everything honestly. The Ochiv Mace and his brother is dead. And that's interesting. We told you everything honestly.
And then they mentioned the brother's dead?
Is his brother dead?
They think
Do they think so?
No.
Yeah, they lied.
When did they leave him?
alive
Years ago.
Alive
as a slave.
as a slave.
That's why they looked at all.
He didn't stay in the pit, remember?
They don't know what
They
they
don't
don't
know, do they know that he was in the pit, but they took the concept of like the so maybe with that they wouldn't they thought that he was gone, but they didn't know how.
I mean, something I saw was that when Yaakov had thought Yosef had died, he wasn't able to properly move on because he could still feel his existence
Yes.
in this world.
Yes, that's why mourning, there's the 7 days of mourning, we should all live 120 years. Bezrat Hashem. And then there's the Shloishim, and then there's the Shana. And these are various decreasing levels of mourning. That is a way that the Torah gave us in order to handle in a healthy way the life. That you do have to move on. But the question is, why was Yaakov not? Because he knew that Yosef wasn't dead. That's why he wasn't being consoled. Spiritually, he wasn't feeling consoled, which he should have been. How does he say Kaddish for a year? That should be it.
Did the sons have the same field, or could they tell us when they came here?
The sons, who is a brother, don't have the same laws of mourning. They only have a shiva. They don't have the shana. A father. It's interesting that the father had for the son. The son has for a father. You have shiva, but you don't have the shana. Even shloshim. You do, but only for the shiva. I don't know if the brothers knew.
Also,
Or felt this, excuse me. I don't know if they felt this point.
Reuben disclosed when he saw that.
Yes.
There's also a sign of work. So include like I still didn't really understand the whole like Canadian like thing in that section of that video. That where it's like it could be that the brothers didn't know, brothers watched, and then Midianites got the great thing. So then when the brothers came back, they saw he was gone.
Look at what Rashi says. It's going to indicate. Achiv Meis. Even though Yosef was not dead, but he was sold alive as a slave, Mipnei Hayira, because of awe, because of Yira. What was the year that Yehuda had Yosef? So he said that I have a heter now to say a davar sheker. Hayamoy davar sheker mipi. Why? Because he said like this, Amar, Yehuda was saying in his heart, Im Amar loy, shehu him, because if I say that he's alive, Yoimer havi u'eitzli. And Yosef's going to say, well, bring him to me. This Rashi would indicate that they did not know, because he could have called the bluff. If he's alive, bring him to me. So what was the problem then? Well, actually, we sold him. He'd get himself in a pickle. Maybe you guys are more dishonest than I realized. You came to me and you said that everything that you said, you answered me straight, and at all the questions I asked you, we gave you straight answers. and I asked about your brother and your father, and we answered it, and you wanted to make shidduchim with us. We told you straight. You want to have something going on with your brother. So if I say that he's alive, bring him to me. Actually, it's a part of the story that we're not so proud of. Oh, really? Who are these people that are speaking to me now? Why was he so? Because you got to bring him to me. So then just Yehuda say, I'd love to, but we actually sold him into slavery. Did the brothers think that they were doing the right thing? We never quite spoke this out together. There's a famous Parshas Drachim. It says that the brothers thought that they were mamish doing the right thing when they sold him. Why?
Because we see that
So either that, and I'm going to tie that in. There's a famous sefer called the Parshas Drachim. There's a famous explanation. And it goes back to the beginning of Vayeshev. Now, what was the Lashon Hara that Yoseph was saying? So Usher mentioned this before. The brothers are eating Ever Menachai. They're eating limbs, live limbs tearing them off live animals. The brothers are hanging out doing Gili Arayas. They're doing illicit sexual things.
Were they actually doing this, or was it just
So chas v'shalom these were tzaddikim. You think these were to just rip a limb off a live animal?
Yeah, they sold their slavery.
But why? You have to follow the line of logic here. Why? And my question was, did they think they were doing the right thing? So then I went back in the story to explain it. So at that point, before any of this started, why did Yosef say these things? So the answer is, and number one, we can't say the brothers were literally eating limbs off live animal. These were, the Torah gives testimony, these were kulam kedoshim tzadikim. These are mamish tzadikim. So the answer is, and the Rosh Yeshiva loves this answer, is according to the standards of Yosef, according to his eating standards, when he would look at the brothers eat, and they weren't bringing the fork up like this to their mouth and putting it down, they would like bend a little bit to eat. It's like, oh, it's like you guys are eating limbs off live animals. You guys you're so coarse in the way that you're eating. According to Yosef's standards, when they were speaking to the bottom of the shvachos, and they were speaking to people of the opposite gender, to Yosef that looked like Gili Arayas. When they were just being nice. Yosef's standard was so high, and that he said the Jewish nation has to literally be at this super high level of tzidkus. So when he said